Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and here we are getting ready to start on the Book of John journal. I'm excited. So here are my pages, and so I wanted to just tell you real quick, you can do it however you would like, but what I like to do is not trim them until I have put something on the back of them, just to get started. So I either do jelly plate printing or stamping or decoupage or all of the above on the back side, just so it's not a plain white. So I will be doing that first off, and then I like to look through the add-on kit to see if there's any big, there usually are, some big pieces that I want to also stamp. Now, some of these bigger pieces, I know I'm going to glue this in somewhere, and so I'm not going to worry about that. Of course, pockets, you don't have to do the backs of those. These, probably you could do something on the backs, because those are kind of big, and when you flip up those flaps, you are going to want some design on the back side of those. Those, but I'm not going to worry about those. These have tags on the back. Let's see, those are pockets, you don't need to do those. We may not have much on this one. You could do the backs of your tags just to have something on them. And these are your journal cards that go together, so you don't need to worry about those. Unless, if you're going to do these separately, like if you want to make 8 and 8 separate, then you would probably want to take this and start working on something on the back side so it's not plain. So that's up to you. I'm going to glue mine back to back so I don't have to worry about that. But looks like maybe just that one sheet this time. So I am going to get my supplies together to start on the backs of these, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and I'm getting my things out to do some jelly plate printing. So if you've never done jelly plate printing, this is a jelly plate. You can see it looks like Jello. You can get them on Amazon. You can even make your own. There's instructions on YouTube to make your own jelly plate, but this one was purchased. I have paint left from before. I kind of like to have old paint. I like the way it looks when it comes up and sticks and mixes with the new paint. And then I've got a stencil that I'm going to use, just one. So I am going to get some paint out. So again, if you've never done it, you use mainly white, and this is my opinion of how to do it. You use mainly white with a little bit of color. And so, better shake it up. And you can use any kind of acrylic paint, really any kind of paint you can use. I mean, alcohol, ink, and all that. But I use acrylic paint, and I'm going to use my favorite standby colors here. And I'm just going to put little dabs of color. It doesn't take much paint, and I usually get too much, but okay, so then I'm going to take my roller, which also has paint all over it. And then I also have, let's see, I use an old journal to roll this off when I'm done. So this is an old journal that I didn't want to use, and so I just roll extra paint off on it. And so if I wanted to, these pages would be really nice to cut up and use for paper in my journals. So anyway, I'm going to use that, and so I roll the paint out and then I clean it off on here. So, and you can mix, you don't want to over mix your colors, and I don't like to get blobs of color, so that's why I just swirled through some of those dots of color so they're not circles. And I want to make sure I get paint on all these, that old paint underneath. It's kind of resisting it, so I want to make sure I get paint there. Okay, so I'm going to roll it off on my journal, and then I'm going to take my first page. Just lay it on top of there. You don't want to wait too long because the paint dries when it's really thin like that. You rub it with your hands, or I've got this speedball. Oh, what is it called? I can't think what it's called. It'll come to me here in a minute. That pushes it down evenly. And then you want to pull it up and see how it's beginning to pull that paint up that was on there before, the little blue spots. So that gives me something to start with, at least on these. So I'm going to try some different colors just for fun. Let's see. So I'll put a little bit of white. And I've got this iridescent copper. Let's see what happens when I use that. And maybe some blue-green. Turquoise, whatever you want to call it. Also, when you do jelly plate printing, whatever color you put down first comes out on top because it's reversed. And so if I put this down and then if I put a layer of black paint over it, this would come out on top. I'll lay my stencil over that. And then when you use a stencil, so I just printed on the wrong side of one of my pages. Don't ask me how I did that, but I did. And I used a stencil, so this is what's left. So what I'm going to do to show you, this is what will come out on top. So this I'm going to just cover with some plain white. Where is my roller? Cover up with this white. Like that. And then it's really thin, so I need to hurry up. And I'll put that down. I put it wrong side. I put the wrong side down on the paint, and so now I've got to go print another page to make up for that. And here's what it looks like. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Don't do that. Okay, I'm going to blame it on the fact that I'm shooting a video. How about that? And so I'm getting the color that was on there, like I said, very subtle. So now I need a little excitement. So I'm going to put some green and let's see, a little bit of dark green, I think. And maybe some purple, just a little bit. And some white. All right, and then roll that out. Okay, we'll get the paint off my roller. Make sure I put the right side of the paper down. And you'll have paint left over, and so they call it a ghost print if you do 2 prints off of it. And I'm going to go ahead and do a ghost print. Here. See what we get. A little more subtle. Pretty. Okay. So now what can I get into? I'm going to do some pink. Ooh. And white on top of that blue. That's a lot of paint. Yikes. Okay. So we'll see. I told you that what's on the bottom will be on top. We'll see, because I've got a lot of pink here. Oh man, I don't know if that's gonna... I got a lot of paint. Okay, let's see what happens. All right. pretty juicy. Yeah, mainly pink, but some of the color came up on top. And then I'm going to put some white over this because there's a lot of color still on there. So here's the comparison. I think I'll put a little bit of turquoise and then a little bit of dark blue maybe. I don't know how this is going to work out, but we'll find out. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of dry, so I'm going to need a little bit of white. Woo! Okay. The thing about this is I always think I'm going to just print like 1 or 2 pages, and I always end up doing almost the whole thing because it's so much fun. And there's just so many varieties of color you can combine. And if you don't like it, you can just cover it up. Okay, that's a lot of blue. Not sure that's going to work for me, but I can always collage over it. So, and still a lot of blue on there. So I'm going to put some white, maybe a little green. Okay. Yeah, see right there? Yeah, I got green on my hands. That's the thing you better watch out for, is if you touch the paint at all and then you rub your hands over it, it ends up being, is that I don't know if I did that or if that's part of this, because there's some other weird colors on there, so maybe I didn't do that. Okay, and you don't want to wait too long or you won't be able to peel your paper up. Ooh, I like that one a lot. Peeled a lot of that old paint back up off of it. Which it's got a texture. I don't know if you can see it, probably you can't, but it's got a lot of texture to it with the layers of paint. Okay, I'm gonna just do some white on this. And so you kind of have to work fast, but not too fast. Okay, so I'm letting it, I want to get it on there. I'm giving it time to stick that bottom layer of paint on it, but if I wait too long, I won't be able to get this paper off, so I've got to time it right. So it's peeling it off a little bit more. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop. I've got a few sheets left. I'm going to stop with this and put it away, and then I'll come back and do some other things. Okay, I'm back with my microphone on this time, and I'm going to do some stenciling. So I'm going to use my Mermaid Lagoon, and I like to use two colors. I'm going to try the blueprint sketch with this. Let's see what happens. Kind of a purpley blue. And I've had these inks for, let's see, 2020 is when I bought them. And this is the end of 2024. So they've really held up. I've got some replacement ink to put in some of them that I use a lot. But overall, they really have lasted pretty well, I think. And I've used the refresher spray to keep them going. And that's working pretty well. Okay, so this is the tricky part for me. Keeping the color straight, not smearing the ink dauber with the wrong one. Okay, so there's one. That's a couple of good color. I like that color combination. I also want to do the Wild Honey. It's one of my favorites. And I'm going to use the mahogany, aged mahogany. See how that goes. Yeah, Wild Honey. Okay, so for me, it's just about getting something on there to start. I like to do purple and oh well, purple, do I want to do that? Purple and blue, I like crushed olive too, and the moss. I'm gonna do crushed olive and then a blue-green, like Lucky Clover. So you've got a yellow-green and a blue-green. I like that combination a lot. And let me find a floral. Kind of got run over on the other patterns, but that's all right. Okay, let me make sure. Lucky Clover. Try to keep this straight. I just love the blue-green and yellow-green combo. I try to go over the same colors on the stencil in the same areas so I don't mix the ink colors any more than I have to. I'm really being pretty sloppy on this, I have to say, but I think it'll be all right. I can always decoupage or scrap over any crazy places that I've created. I'm just trying to fill this little spot in down here. I'm not really trying to match, obviously, I'm not trying to match my pattern. Maybe this sort of argyle. And, okay, I think I will do the purple and the turquoise. So I'm going to try it with the turquoise on the diamonds. And then try the purple on the other parts. All right. Pretty happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. Ooh, got a little heavy there. And there. Okay. All right, that looks good to me. All right, so now what else can I do? I haven't done any green, I guess. So I'm going to keep that and get rid of the purple. I like aqua and crushed olive together, so I'm going to do that. I'll use this fish scale stencil of Tim Holtz. I do think I need to do a refresh on this blue. Actually, I've got Mermaid Lagoon. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of that on here. This is what you can get if you don't want to buy all new pads all the time. You just get the refresher ink and you just put it on your pad and continue on. Now, I probably shouldn't have done that right in the middle of this because it's going to be really intense now, but that's the way it goes. Ooh, yeah. Oh well. Kind of have to finish this, so it is what it is. I need a piece of, I'm going to take one of these. Just kind of rub it out a little bit. Okay. All right, and that is the end of my pages. So I've managed to get ink on everything, or not ink, but get color on everything. Now I can go back and cover it up if I want to, if I don't like it, or I can leave it and go on. All right, I am gonna stop the video now since I've gotten all my pages done with color, and I will go on the next video with a different thing. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.